Maundy is kind of a silly sounding word. They say it's from the Latin, mandatum, a commandment. I suppose it might just as easily have been called Mandy Thursday. But that sounds a little like a character from a 60s movie or maybe a Barry Manilow song. Actually, come to think of it, that song would make for a pretty good Holy Week prayer. You came and you gave without taking. You kissed me and stopped me from shaking, but I sent you away, oh Lordy. Don't forget, this was advertised as a meditation. The commandment, of course, is a new one. Jesus says, love one another as I have loved you. But Jesus is always leaving us. Perhaps he should have said, leave one another as I have left you. And how does he leave? With forgiveness and gratitude and a promise to return. So that is how we are to love, with forgiveness and gratitude and a promise to return to one another tomorrow. Anyone who has kids knows they're always leaving. And no matter how mature and well-adjusted we think we are, there's always a little voice screaming from our hearts, no, don't go. Usually. Leave-taking is the price of love. In his book, The Dark Night of the Soul, Gerald May calls hope and trust synonyms. It's a problem we have in English where words can have more than one meaning and the meanings are often in conflict with each other. Hope can mean that we have no certainty about something. We're just wishing it would happen. I hope it'll rain. But Christians use hope to mean expectation because Jesus is always leaving us. But he's promised to come back. Even when he dies and rises again, he goes away. And our belief and our trust, our hope is that he will come again. But there is a paradox there. We await his coming in glory, when all glory and laud and honor will be given to the Redeemer King. We don't want it to happen too soon, like today, for instance. Just because we think we'll be ready when our time comes doesn't mean we want it to come. As Louis and Elvis sang, we got a lot of living to do. People in recovery from addictions often use the phrase one day at a time. So for an alcoholic, it's not a matter of never drinking. It's a matter of not drinking today, and it's always today. God's glory is always coming again. And despite what the Left Behinders say, it's coming tomorrow. But it's always coming tomorrow. Meanwhile, we live. And we live with our desire for God. It can be a compulsion, habitual and impossible to moderate, but usually with far nicer side effects than most addictions. Then again, it can also be devastating and murderous in the extreme. In the paper every day, Christians, Muslim, Hindu, doesn't matter. But if we take to heart the new commandment this Maundy Thursday, love one another as I have loved you, especially in our leave-taking, with forgiveness and gratitude and a promise to return, then we will indeed grow in hope. The trusty kind, not the wishy kind, as we watch and wait and come to believe. The Buddhists say it another way when they speak of the hope of no hope, which means if I'm enlightened enough to know that goodness will come, it's pointless to hope for it. It's moot. And for Christians who can say, I know that my Redeemer lives, that knowing, that knowledge overrides, it supersedes hope. So we don't hope that Christ will come again. We know it. We don't hope that self-awareness and selfless charity are worthwhile. We know it. We don't hope that one day we will join the Good Shepherd's heavenly flock. We know it. Jesus is always leaving us. On the day of his crucifixion, on every Good Friday since, and on each and every occasion when we rise from our knees and depart from this place to go out into the world and do things for ourselves and others, God leaves us in charge of all the everyday matters of our lives. We're in charge, and we must choose how to act, how to react. Jesus is always leaving us, but he's always coming back too. And all we have to do is be patient, one day at a time. God will gladly join us. And that is our hope of no hope. That is our trusted belief. That is our certain knowledge on this night. Amen.